surveillance cameras rolling at the right time and in the right place to catch a massive waterspout.
And is someone counterfeiting football tickets at Lane Stadium? Tonight, police need your help to locate this man.
On your side, NBC12 News at 11 starts with breaking news.
And breaking right now, witnesses report explosions in Ashland off Washington Highway with fire crews on the scene right now.
Mike Valerio has the latest from the Breaking News Center. Mike, what do you know about this?
Well, Sabrina and Kurt, witnesses say they first thought an explosion was part of a show at King's Dominion. Then they see fire trucks and hear more explosions. A live picture of the scene right now. Hanover Fire says this is happening at 11310 Washington Highway. And that address traces back to Fox Auto Service. Now, if you know the area, that's right on Route 1 close to Lewistown Road. The call comes in at 9:21 tonight, and we know crews are still trying to find out how the fire started, but it is under control. From what I've been able to piece together so far, we know that Fox was closed today, and I have confirmed with fire officials that no one is hurt tonight. We, of course, broke this first on NBC12.com and through our free breaking news app. And if we learn more overnight, just check in with our website when you wake up for the latest on this investigation. That's our top story from here in the Breaking News Center. Kurt and Sabrina, back to you.
Mike, thanks very much. Now to Louisa and the rumbling many of you learned about tonight from our free NBC12 News app.
Yet another aftershock just about a month after the 40-year anniversary of the big one up there. For the latest information, let's send it over to meteorologist Jim Duncan in the First Warning Weather Center. Now, Jim, how strong of a quake are we talking about here?
This was minimal, especially compared to the one we had back in 2011, 2.2. I'll talk more about that in a second. Let's locate it first. The center of the quake was located about 28 miles to the northwest of Short Pump, just 7 miles south of Louisa. And the quake itself, as I mentioned, measured 2.2 magnitude. It happened at 9:38 yesterday evening. The depth in the underground was 3.3 miles. That's a fairly shallow quake. It happened near Shannon Hill Road and Mountain Road intersection. It got up in Louisa. Compare that to the quake we had back in 2011. That was a 5.8. This one was a 2.2, so this one was quite small in comparison.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Just as state police and the FAA are on the scene of a small plane crash in Monetta. Moments after impact, the small aircraft burst into flames.
First responders were able to pull 2 people out of the wreckage and rush them to Roanoke Hospital. We'll update you as soon as new information comes into our newsroom. And now to a story many of you have been talking about on my Facebook page as well as Twitter. Petersburg native and NBA Hall of Famer Moses Malone has died at the age of 60. Malone passed away in his sleep overnight at a Norfolk hotel where he was staying for a celebrity golf tournament.
Tonight, we're talking to people in Petersburg who knew the 12-time All-Star very well. Brittany McDonald goes back to where Malone's career all began, Petersburg High School.
People in Petersburg are
minute
devastated
45
at
out.
Malone's
Y'all
death.
be at the
Some
age
are
of the
looking at
best.
this as an opportunity to be
Together?
inspired and carry on his legacy at the same place where it all started. So he was there, sitting in the chairs.
Brady, you'll be on this side.
No.
Moses Malone's legacy can already be seen across the walls of the Petersburg High Gymnasium, his memorabilia proudly on display. Malone was part of back-to-back undefeated state championship teams at Petersburg in 1973 and 74, and would go straight on to the pros and a 20-year career with the NBA.
Moses was probably known for his toughness, his heart. He was a great rebounder, and more importantly, he was a winner.
But Petersburg High School coach David McGlone says the star still
Am I
managed
okay
to
to
keep his
Instagram
humble
that?
roots.
And
Thank you.
The city and went on to put the city on the map. And more importantly, he kept the city on the map.
Malone's become a role model for current athletes like Petersburg senior Bernard Gregory.
I still look at like videos of what he did, and I mean, this was a great player. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you could get a better role model or a better example to put in front of the children about what they can be if they continue to do their best.
Coach McGlone says what Malone stood for went far beyond the
30
game,
seconds.
but they'll be keeping him in mind out on the court.
As sad as it is, we can definitely draw strength from it, knowing that we still have the privilege to go out and represent Petersburg the way he would want us to.
The city of Petersburg also released a statement calling Malone a gentle giant and saying, quote, legendary is a word of magnificence, which will follow him to the scoreboard and
Thanks, Brittany. And developing now, the visit of Pope Francis to the U.S., raising some serious concerns about security tonight. And we've even learned that one person is in custody for making threats. Texas Congressman Michael McCall says the Secret Service closely monitoring the situation. NBC News is reporting the man making the threat said he had planned to do something to the Pope. That man is now being evaluated. Pope Francis will be in the United States from the 22nd until the 27th of this month.
Here in Richmond, firefighters from all across Central Virginia are honoring the lives lost on 9/11 with the annual Memorial Stair Climb. The goal, finish the climb. 343 firefighters started September 11, 2001 when hijacked planes crashed into the Twin Towers. Curtis McLeod has our coverage from the SunTrust building.
It's a big deal for me.
Retired firefighters in Toyota have only missed the annual stair climb once in its 5-year existence.
Thomas Isabella, ladder 13.
Each time he climbs the stairs inside the SunTrust building, it's dedicated to the memory of his childhood friend and your firefighter, Thomas Isabella.
Tommy and I went to high school together. We went through 4 years in high school on Staten Island, and we went our separate ways.
Thomas Isabella lost his life in September like
What's that?
Everything all right?
I think so.
says he remembers seeing the first images from Ground Zero.
We got to a television set, and we saw the first pictures. My first response, I said to my wife, I said, "There are in there." There you go, baby. So, you knew right from the start it was going to be a bad.
Less than a minute.
Coming out.
343
Coming
firefighters
out
lost their lives
on
when the towers collapsed.
Sabrina,
Those
about
firefighters never
10.
finished their
Oh,
way
okay.
to the
Will
top of
come
the
out
towers.
later on.
Now, 14 years later, firefighters and supporters throughout Central Virginia are finishing that journey with the annual stair climb. Participants are climbing 22 flights of stairs 5 times, matching 110-floor trek firefighters had intended to make
30 seconds.
on 9/11.
It's time to honor and time to never forget.
Never forget and honor the hundreds like Thomas Zavala who died that fateful day.
It's a good way for us to show a different way of remembering our fallen brothers and sisters.
Curtis McLeod, NBC12 News.
Thanks, Curtis. 3 men are behind bars after a suspicious situation near the Pentagon. Police say the heavily intoxicated trio was in a car with a wire protruding from the driver's side door. The men tried to drive away from responding officers but were arrested a short time later. Authorities called in a bomb squad as a precaution. The Virginia Court of Appeals has granted prosecutors' request for a hearing on a lower court's dismissal of Joe Morrissey's felony charges.
Now, that hearing is scheduled for tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. You may remember back in April, a Henrico judge dismissed all felony charges in a perjury and forgery case against the former delegate. However, the state appealed the case, and their request was granted earlier this week. A doctor stabs himself, allegedly, just to get sympathy from his employers. Originally, the doctor told police he was stabbed at the Fort Chiswell Medical Clinic, that's in Wythe County. This happened on Wednesday, but since then, he's changed his story. Dr. Paul Williams claims he was afraid he'd be fired or forced to resign and pay thousands of fines. Police have charged Williams with making a false police report.
The Charlottesville community is honoring the memory of slain UVA student Hannah Graham. These are the messages in chalk drawn on the free speech wall. It's a block from where Graham was last captured on surveillance cameras the night of her disappearance, September 13, 2004. Help Save the Next Girl organized this memorial event. Since Graham's murder, the group has been working to change Virginia laws to promote safety.
It's a really growing problem, and I think a lot of people want to sweep it under the rug, unfortunately, so we just want to get out here and raise awareness.
Family members of other young women murdered in Central Virginia took part, including relatives of Alexis Murphy and the mother of Morgan Harrington. Tonight, accused killer Jesse Matthews sits in a jail cell awaiting his trial for abducting and murdering Graham. That's set to begin next July.
A disturbing crime out of Norfolk where detectives find an elderly couple and their dog dead inside the house. Investigators say it appears to be a murder-suicide. We know that police did remove at least one gun from the home Friday morning. According to neighbors, the husband and wife have lived there for years, with the husband often seen walking his dachshund all around the neighborhood. It's unclear who may have pulled the trigger. And with college football season underway, we want to warn you about a possible counterfeit ticket ring for Virginia Tech games. The university's police department there is reviewing several complaints of fake tickets sold during the recent Ohio State game this weekend. Officers think the man you see there on the screen may have some answers. He's wanted for questioning about the sale of those bogus tickets at Lane Stadium. If you recognize this man, please call police.
We just learned a Louisa man searching for a kidney has not only found a donor, but just had a successful transplant. We first told you about 28-year-old Danny Woody back in June, when Woody resorted to social media to try to find a living donor. He suffered from chronic kidney disease for years. Shortly after our story aired, a match came forward. Danny had the transplant last week and was able to go home this weekend. We wish Danny a quick and healthy recovery. Now to New Kent, where we're following a deadly crash that claimed a 16-year-old's life this morning. According to state police, Joshua Perry ran off Tunstall Road into an embankment, went airborne, then struck a tree. The car then spun sideways and hit a second tree before overturning. It's unclear if Perry was wearing a seatbelt at the time. Investigators say speed is considered a factor in this crash.
It's a captivating and emotional jailhouse interview. That woman, accused of aiding two convicted killers in a big prison escape, is tonight sharing her story for the first time.
To everyone who's wondered what was she thinking, Joyce Mitchell offers a tearful explanation tonight. Her intriguing interview coming up in just 2 minutes. Your husband is sticking with her.